Hey, Antioch Youth. Hey, I'm so excited. Today's our first devotional we're doing together. And I can't wait for over the next few days for some of our other youth doing these too. And if you want to jump in, let me know. But man, hang on. There's something in the way here. Just remote controls and telephone and book, puzzles. And, oh, yeah, but yummy croissants. And hey, sorry, guys. I don't, that stuff was just in the way. I couldn't see you, and you obviously you couldn't see me, and you know we're getting ready to start our fast today as the church wide comes together to fast and pray and seek the Lord, and I think that's kind of weird though that those things are in the way. As I think about what I'd like to talk about today, there are things that are in the way as we get ready to fast between us and God. There are things that we worship and we put first before Him, like this thing. This thing, I have a tendency to spend way too much time on it. I think when I get into my downtime and when I get ready to just rest, instead of putting God first, I go to this, and after that, yeah, I go to my yummy food, and some of you may go to books or even music or whatever it may be, but I think we have a tendency to not put God first. And hopefully over this next 3 days, what we're going to get to do is figure out what those things are and put them aside. And hopefully figure out what are we putting first before God. And so this morning and today, as you're ready to start your fast, if you haven't already figured that out, we do encourage everyone to do a full food fast, but maybe there's something else you really need to put over to the side. So pray and ask God, what is it that I'm putting first? Think about your day. What do I spend most of my day doing? And then just set that aside. And then worship Him the way He deserves. So maybe that means getting into His Word. No, obviously that means getting to His Word. Putting on worship songs. Spending time listening. Asking the Holy Spirit to speak to you about who God says you are. Praying for other people, reaching out. There's so many ways we can do this. And there's one other thing I'd like you to do today. First, what are you putting before Him? But second, as we talk about things that get between us and God, look in Hebrews 12. Excuse me. Hebrews 12, and it talks about sin, and it says we need to lay aside every sin that gets in the way. And so we need to lay that aside and ask Jesus to forgive us of that. And later on down in verse 11, it talks about discipline. It says, for the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. And so as we lay our sin aside, as we bring it forward, there's going to seem like some discipline involved. It's going to seem hard. But as we lay that aside, it produces fruit of righteousness. And it trains us to really seek God first because we're putting sin away. Maybe even this discipline we talked about, it's a discipline of fasting. It's going to be hard over the next 3 days, no matter what you put aside. But if I can truly overcome that and seek God first and worship Him, when those hunger pains or those fear and anxiety come forward, and I seek Him first, then those things begin to produce righteousness, and they begin to bring peace in me and my life. And as I put Him first, then I begin to really understand His will for my life, and I begin to understand what He's asking of me, and I begin to be able to do that. And then I begin to be able to put sin off even easier because He's first. So yeah, that's what I ask of you today. I love you guys. Have a great day.